on Tampa Online. So happy to be here this morning. Sorry we're running a couple minutes late. Also, sorry we're not able to meet in person yet. We're hoping to do that soon, but as you all know, it's not safe and it may be a couple more months. So we're doing the online thing. Please be sure to share this. We provide this as a public service to the community, so please hit the share button. Del is going to introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Bill, and good morning, everybody out there in our Café on Tampa community. We miss you. We look forward to seeing you in person. We have a great program today. Our not really a speaker, our performer is Tampa local jazz legend musician Kitty Daniels. Kitty has been an anchor in the local jazz scene for more than 60 years here in the Tampa Bay area. And equally remarkable, she's a great grandmother. Kitty, tell us a little bit about yourself and your remarkable career.
Well, I'm an 85-year-old piano player that's been playing around Tampa for years, and I've played for several people you might have heard about. Etta James, James Brown, Jackie Wilson, different people, but I've played mostly nightclubs here in Tampa because I didn't want to travel a lot.
So over the years, how has the local jazz scene changed, or is it still the same? Tell us a little bit about the local jazz scene.
The local jazz scene?
Yes.
Well, there are several jazz musicians that play around town. You can hear them at different nightclubs. I don't know exactly where anybody is playing right now other than myself. But there's the La Lucha band, there's Maurice. Maurice, fantastic piano player and vocalist. And there's Belinda Womack, who everybody knows has the most fabulous voice in the world.
Kitty, you thank you so much for being on here this morning. You wanted to play a couple songs, so why don't we let you play a song, and then we have lots of questions, and then maybe if you'd like, play another song toward the end. You want to start up?
Sure. I think you're wonderful. I really wrong. That's right.
Thank you so much, and apologies that the Zoom and all these technological connections we have don't do justice at all to your great talents.
I barely hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Could you hear our claps?
No, I didn't. But I can barely hear you. I don't know if you can hear me good.
We can hear you fine. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like what? Ask me some questions. What you want to know?
You've been, according to your biography, you've been a jazz musician in the Tampa Bay area for 60 years. How did you get into the business? And
well, I played in several nightclubs here in Tampa. There was a Jubilee that was over on Henderson Boulevard. Played there. I played at a place called Bonfire. I was playing there when it actually burned. But I was off, and I heard on the radio that morning that the bonfire was burning. My B3 organ burned up in there. So, and I played at the place called the Huddle. That was on Dale Mabry. Several places. The Jubilee.
Now you play it. Now you play at Donatello's for anyone who
Now I
doesn't.
play at Donatello. I've been there for about 21 years.
And you were there last night, I think, late. So, and usually you don't start this early in the morning, so we appreciate you doing that.
Right. I was there late last night, and that's why I sound and look a mess this morning.
So, Kate,
I'm not accustomed to being up this early.
One question I wanted to ask you: your bio talks about your efforts in the civil rights movement and how you were a pioneer in getting the musicians union to allow Black performers. Can you tell us about that, please?
Well, they wouldn't let us in the musicians union one while, because they wouldn't let Black bands in there. And I wrote a letter to Mr. Petrillo, James Petrillo, and he sent a man down here called Ernie Lewis, I believe the man's name was. Anyway, he went over to the union office, and I had to go there, and he got us in there, got us in the musicians union.
What year was that?
That was a while back. That was in what, the 60s, early 60s or something.
Can you explain to everybody the importance of what being in the union meant? I think you were shut out.
It meant that you got paid when you worked. Otherwise, you had to get a certain union scale. See, they had to pay you a certain amount for the hours, the time that you performed. And if you didn't have that, you weren't guaranteed you were going to even get paid for a gig or a job.
And were there, as a Black performer, sorry to take you so far back, but as a Black performer, were you regularly playing in segregated, mostly Black places, or were you playing in white and Black places?
Well, they were mostly white places, but Blacks were allowed in. This was in the late 50s, but they were mostly white, and I played. We'd take a break, and we'd all go in a back room during break time. And I'd stay out front. One particular place called Silver Lake Golf and Country Club. Well, I'd stay out front and play the piano while the rest of the band went in the back, because they were all guys, and I was the only female. And I didn't have much to talk about with them. So I'd play out there. And one of the owners told me if I ever decided to play by myself, let him know. Well, I was late one time. I was late several times because I like to go to the dog track. There was a dog named Reneker that was running, a little dog named Reneker, and that little dog would see all the rest of the dogs running around there, and he acted like he didn't even want any rabbit meat or nothing. He didn't want to win the race until he'd get to one certain point, and then he'd hold his little head up and look around and see where the other dogs were and zoom past them. He'd zoom. And so anytime that dog was running, I was there, because I knew we had one person in the band who could play the opening song, and I knew I was going to get to work a little late. So that happened one time. I got to work late because I had to go see Reneker run, and they fired me. And I called this man from the country club who had told me if I ever wanted to play on my own, let him know. So I called him that very next day. They fired me, and I got the job. I started playing that same night. And I've been playing by myself ever since. But now I'm playing with Majid. I've been playing with him for the last 40 years. But I mean, that was the way I started playing on my own, getting my own jobs.
Do you remember the Jackson House? Did you ever play there?
No, I didn't ever play there. I met some of the musicians that played up there, because a good friend of mine who played piano, we used to walk all over Tampa. We were just friends, just platonic. They called him Bebop Jackson. He was very popular around, but anyway, he took me up there to meet Sam Cooke one time. I went up there, and Sam Cooke evidently thought I was up there to stay up there with him. but I wasn't, you know. And he got mad and said some awful things to me, and to get that B out of here, you know. And I left, yeah, saying, 4 days later, he got killed, you know.
Oh no. You must have some great stories. Could you tell us one or two of the stories of, you know, your music career or music scene in Tampa or something like that?
You know, I could probably think of some if it wasn't so early in the morning and I wasn't so old, you know. but there are a lot of stories.
You lived in Chicago for a while too, right? You were.
Yeah, I played in Chicago for a while, and I wish I had stayed, but
do you think
I
that
was there.
it seems to me, and a friend of mine, Ybor, we were talking about this the other day. Remember the Jazz Cellar, and there used to be a lot of live performance places in Ybor and all over Tampa.
Yeah, I was playing right across the street from the Jazz Cellar. Then they put it in there at a place called Café Creole.
Yeah,
the Jazz Cellar was right across the street from Café Creole. The guy who owns the music store, I think he was in charge of the band that was at the Jazz Cellar.
Do you think there was more of a live music scene back in the 80s than there is now? Or do you think that, you know, what's this, are there a lot of places that have live music now compared to then? How would you rate it?
There have never been a lot of, well, there are a lot of jazz places. They have live music at a lot of places here now, but they don't have many jazz places, I don't think. I don't know, but I play it at Donatello, and I was playing at Cafe Benedetto out in Land O'Lakes until they recently closed. And
the lady who put us in touch with you, Louise, has created a documentary about you, and it was supposed to have been launched.
That's where I could think of a little more to say. But like I said, this is kind of early for me.
But the documentary, it's at kittydaniels.com. And I think there's just a teaser there now. It was supposed to have been launched during what ended up being the pandemic. And so I think she's going to be launching it soon. But if folks go to kittydaniels.com, I think you can sign up for updates and hear more about Kitty's history. Do you want to go ahead and play another song?
Okay. I sing usually, you know. I sound bad when I get other people to sing. We get some really good singers. Someday, when the world is cold, I'm all alone. I'm gonna get a clothes just thinking of you. And the way you look tonight. Why, Charlie, with your smile so true, and your glances too. There's nothing for me but to love you. And the way you look tonight. And that smile that wrinkles your nose captures my foolish heart. You're charming, never change. Keep that breathless glow. Won't you please arrange this girl's I love you.
Very good.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Del, I know you're a big fan and have a bunch of questions. I'll let you ask next.
Well, this has been a remarkable career. What has been the highlights of your career in the Tampa Bay area, and has it been a challenge to focus your entire career in the Tampa Bay area?
I have enjoyed playing, seeing the folks' reaction, and just being real with the people, being able to talk with the customers, and getting them to participate if they're real. You know, I know a lot of songs, so I can usually play whatever they ask for and whatever they want to sing or something, and that's fun. You know, I get a chance to.
Do you write your own songs too? Do you have any of your own?
I have some out that's been released recently. A couple of songs that I wrote, and one that my drummer Majid wrote, and also on there is a song you might know called "The Nearness of You." That's on there. There's only 4 songs on there, 3 songs that we wrote, and I wrote the words to the one that he wrote, but I wrote the words and music to a couple of other songs on there.
Yeah.
And there are the 4 songs on there, the 3 we wrote, and this other song called "The Nearness of You." That's an old standard.
And how does anybody buy those? Can they go on iTunes, or how do they get them?
Well, they should be being streamed on Spotify and different places now.
Okay,
I don't.
great.
You know, we have a large viewership and hopefully a lot of young people. What advice would you give young musicians, especially in the performing
I
arts?
can't
today?
hear you.
What advice would you give young musicians that are starting out today?
Play and sing what you feel yourself, and don't imitate other people. Do your own style. Do what you actually feel. That's my advice. And keep doing it. You're going to get encouraged, discouraged a lot, I suppose, like I did. But I just keep right on doing it. I go in places, and if there's a piano in there, I'll start playing it.
Well, you push through all kinds of barriers, so thank you for being the pioneer that you were and have been.
Thank you.
Do you want to? We have like 3 or 4 more minutes. Do you want to? We can continue asking you questions. It seems like you feel more comfortable communicating with your piano. If you want to play one of the songs that you wrote yourself, or we can ask you more questions. What would you prefer?
Okay, you want one of the songs that I wrote.
You want?
I see you in all my dreams, so I'm happy when the day is through. The sky, moon, and sun and me, we're waiting for you. I'll have you all day long, makes working seem just like a song. So I know I'll see you a little later on. Anticipate one, just thinking about your smile, the way that you look at me. When you said hello, felt like I did the bank and won with the golden ring and everything. So I'll see you a little later on. All through the day, everything is okay. I go on singing a song, 'cause I know the night time always follows the day. So I watch a good TV movie. Sandman is near. Wonder who the next star could be. Then you appear. Answer is down, and I know why. I just can't wait to see
That is fantastic. Thank you so much. And sorry for everybody. Every time I talk, my face pops up, and I know everybody'd rather see you. But thank you so much, Kitty, for doing that. And that's a great song to end on. Louise
Thank
posted.
you very much. I'm sorry. I sound awful this morning. Believe me. Come out and to Donatello some night. I'm there.
And tell us what nights you're
Monday,
there.
Tuesday, and Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights. Thursday's the best night because my drummer's there with me on Thursday night.
Okay, you said Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Thursday we start around 7:30.
And Louise already posted the link to the website and information about the documentary. And Louise, if you could also maybe post a link to how people can hear those songs. And
Louise is fantastic, huh?
Yeah, the technology doesn't do your voice justice. Anybody's heard you sing in person knows how much of a important musician you are to our area. So thank you so much for all you do. And I look forward to seeing you in person. Del, anything else? Any final words?
No, it was just great hearing you, and I look forward to seeing you at Donatello soon.
Okay. Look forward to seeing you too.
All right. Thank you so much. You take care.
You're welcome. Bye.